What's going on, everybody? Good to see you again, just 24 hours later. I'm GriffyBets, joined by Walla. Here I'm propping up on the Gold Boys Network, brought to you by Pickett, the top app for tracking your bets and keep it holding yourself accountable, which is most important. Thanks for Pickett for making this show possible. Last night was pretty fun. Walla, good to see you again. Quick turnaround here. How you doing?
Good. Yeah, it was a fun night. A lot of stuff that we talked about on the show came through and the happened kind of how we hoped. I know you had specifically asked for a Duchesne power play goal assisted by Yossi in that game, and that happened for us. Duchesne continues to shoot at home and then take some time off to rest on the road. he's awesome at home. It was just it was a really fun one. A lot of stuff came through.
Yeah, that was great. And I think why this show can be so fun. And if you're watching with us, because that Yossi power play point was very discovered live. I mean, you really want to point it out. Like, you like Nashville for power play? Well, look at Yossi. He's got 4 in his last 5. So that's why I like doing this show. I'd already sort of gone through my rounds, but doing another round with you can unearth some nice gems together. So
Yep.
that was fun.
Yeah. I mean, even if I said it I say at the end of every show, make sure you're writing stuff down because there's stuff that we don't play and we talk about it. I think the show was like about to end and we were like at the end of the show we were just like, oh yeah, the last 2 games, maybe a Barzell goal, maybe Heiskanen shots and maybe JT Miller shots if you're looking at those games, and
Or
all three of
Fiala
those things
too.
happened. And I didn't actually even get to that game. I think I was just so into the early bets and so excited that it was just at that time I didn't even think about it. And then the games were going on. I was like, dang, we said all that.
I know I had so many things written down like Fiala shots and point that I didn't end up playing, but oh well. A little bit of
Oh,
a
good.
step back tonight. I mean, there's only 3 games. They don't look amazing on paper, but I do think there's some nice spots, so you might as well dig in. First game being New Jersey and Detroit. I think at a high level, I like New Jersey to get goals and shots. They, I think, averaged 40 shots in the first 2 meetings this year, and Huso he's been horrible in net lately. I don't know what's going on with him. We used to be scared of seeing him, but he's let up 4 goals or more in 4 straight with uh, the worst performance yet, probably his last outing last week. Let up 4 goals and 12 shots and got pulled against Pittsburgh in the first. So not afraid of him right now. So
Yeah.
I think you could look in a lot of directions. I just loaded up their team total with Kaprizov point, which we can talk about later. But I think Jack Hughes looks good. I think there's a lot of good looking spots.
Yeah, I agree. It's been it there's been kind of some nice trends popping up here on the Devil side. Um, and they're pretty decent prices. So like seeing that on the 3 game slate where you can get some good options without needing to, you know, try to find a parlay piece. One that I want to talk about first. And I imagine I would need to just double check the lineups to make sure. But if Mercer is still on the line with Hughes, um, I know our friend Fast Money Labs, he pointed this out, and I remember him pointing this out last season. So I've followed this trend when it happens. And Mercer gets on a line with Hughes, and his points usually plus money. I think it was like plus 114 on Caesars or something recent, or like last I checked. And he has 3 points in his last 2 games, and he was on that line. He's not on the power play, but he's still, he's on the line with Hughes. And yeah, at plus 114, there's a pretty good correlation there that you're skating alongside Jack Hughes, whether he sets you up for something or you're just, you pass the puck to Hughes and he does something crazy and scores. He's getting points, and that's plus money. it's been a good trend. He really gets his chances and he takes advantage of the opportunity when he's with Hughes. So I like that look a lot today.
Yeah, I think that's solid. He's got a point in his last two in Detroit as well. So that always helps the cause. Yeah, plus 114 for a point if you're skating next to Jack Hughes. I can get
Yeah,
behind.
again, not on the power play, but Detroit, I know recently they've picked it up in allowing power plays, but I think they'll still be able to get something done on 5v5 with how you mentioned Houston's been playing recently. Um, I don't know if positive regressions in store for Houston sometime soon, but he's been really rough. So at the moment, like you said, not afraid to try to cash in on a matchup against him.
No, and the Devils just get so many pucks on net, which is going to help the cause.
Yeah, on the road, shoot a lot.
I think shots why it's really hard to ignore Jack Hughes, what he's doing lately. The volume is insane. He's flying over his 3.5 line. He's got 6 shots in 3 straight, 4+ in 6 straight. And he's had some nice games against Detroit. I seem to always lose my Jack Hughes props when I bet him. I think he looks awesome for a goal at plus 140, 3 goals in his last 2 games. But then I started looking around. I thought a lot of other guys looked good for goals too. So that's why I just did the team total. Like Toronto last night. Sure, all the studs pretty much ended up scoring anyway. So almost the point was kind of moot there. But every time they scored, I was happy. So I like that feeling.
Yeah. Somebody in the chat talking about Nico, which I think we should talk about. It's his birthday today. So he might have that birthday bump. I know a lot of people like that narrative. And yeah, he's been shooting a lot this season. 64% hit rate over 2.5. It drops to 47% on the road, which is where they are today. He had 2 last time he was in Detroit, and then he had 3 against Detroit when they were at home. So I don't know if you want to weigh that into your decision. He does shoot a little bit more at home, but it is his birthday today. So maybe the birthday boy goes out there, tries to get a goal, or Brat tries to hook him up with a present.
Yeah, I mean, he's got a goal in 3 straight games. And the last game with Detroit. Um, on paper, if you look at just the year, Detroit might not look like a good team to target for power play. You know, stats and weighing that, but lately they've been getting penalized a lot more. And he sure is. He's second on the team in power play shots, I believe. Yeah, he's got
And
25 compared to Jack Hughes at 35, so big jump. But he's obviously involved out there,
yeah.
points wise too. So shots are goal. Looks his shots down to 2 looks a lot more enticing. I
I
don't see.
just mentioned how he hit his shots against Detroit at home and went under on the road. But then you look at his chart and he didn't have a goal at home and he did in Detroit. So I don't know. Birthday boy seems, 3 straight, like Griffey said. He had a goal last time he was in Detroit. You got Brat on your line who can, definitely set you up, and then power play. So I could definitely see him getting a goal today.
I mean, Brat looks good for a goal too. He scored twice. I mean, they were playing Nadolchevich. I know. I think I just butchered his name. I tried. They scored 6 goals last
Ned.
time. So a lot of guys look good when you look at their last game in Detroit. But yeah, Brat got in on the fun also.
Could be. I don't know if their points lines are at. Are they at 1? Are they at 0.5?
I know Hughes
Yeah,
is at
Brat
one.
and wow, yeah, they're both at 1 point. That could be if you got bet 365 or something that lets you do those correlated points parlays. That could be one right there. Nico and Brett. I like it.
Speaking of points, though, one play I did put in, and I know you're considering how to play it also, is Dougie Hamilton assist, which is minus 104 on FanDuel, really solid. He's got an assist in 7 of his last 10 games. On the road, been pretty solid. 4 assists in his last 4. And he's got 4 assists in his last 3 games against Detroit, which includes 3 in the 2 games this year. So I found -104 pretty reasonable in a spot. I like New Jersey to score 3 to 5 times. He's also very involved on the power play. New Jersey hasn't, this is kind of similar to Yossi last night. New Jersey has not been great on the power play, but when you poke around to someone like Dougie, he's got 3 power play points in his last 5 games. So to me, that's showing, okay, they're starting to figure it out again. And over the last 10 games, Detroit's penalty kills 75%, and they're giving up 3.6 power play opportunities per game. Both really solid metrics, which to me suggests New Jersey's going to score on the power play. I'm just going to bank on him having a normal assist, whether it's even strength or a man up, but I don't hate the power play point here either.
Yeah, majority of his points are assists, especially recently. He only has 1 goal in his last 10 plus, I think, and so the rest of those points that you see are all assists. So he had 3 assists against Detroit in their last 2 meetings. He did have a goal, but yeah, the assist looks good, really close to even money. I was surprised that the assist is at -104, and then point in general is at -150. So let's see. That means they got his goal way up there at +430. So yeah, if they're thinking he gets a point, -150, and I think it would be an assist is definitely the way to look. I was just trying to decide what to do if you did want to play it safer, and you even said this in your article, that you could probably pair it with the Kirill point, which looks really nice too. So those were the 2 options I was kind of looking at here, but he looks great. That's really nice, right around even money for an assist today.
So it's nice, I think, with the small slate, FanDuel decided to give us alternate shots up for the show, which we don't normally get. Someone like
Oh yeah.
Jack Hughes is +140 to get 5 shots. He really, when he goes over, he's getting 5. So how do you think you're going to approach Hughes tonight?
I'm gonna put a half unit on him to get 5 shots. If you look at his road chart, which he hits, he gets his shots on the road. He only has 1 game where he's ended on 4. I think out of his 11 hits on the road. So he is getting 5+ shots on goal, yeah, in 10 out of 16 road games. So yeah, I'll take the chance there, at the plus money rather than 3.5 at -154. He's landed above that on the road more often, and I think yeah, he had a big game against Detroit. It was at home. The other one, he had less shots on the road, but just lately, in general, his volume's really nice, and he's been getting a lot of shots. So I'll take a chance there at 5 shots.
I mean, it's even crazy. He's +320 for 6, which he's done in 3 straight games. And on the road, he's done in 3 of his last 4. Even going, he has 6 shots in 6 of his last 10 road games, and he's +320 for that.
Yeah, maybe even throw a little bit on that, like, do a ladder on Hughes if you like him. I know he's polarizing. No, he's only landed on 3 once this entire season. So if he's not gonna hit his line, it's probably gonna be like a game with 2 shots on goal, and it's gonna just not be, it's gonna really suck. But he's pretty much go big, or just like he doesn't get him on net. So I'd rather take the chance here, against Detroit, knowing how Hughes has been. You said he got pulled last game, so I'm sure they're just gonna want to test him. If he's out there, just try to pummel him with shots early. If he's still in a funk. Yeah, I like that look.
Anything on the Detroit side you're considering? I don't like New Jersey.
No, not really. No, I think they got Fabry back in the lineup, so see how the chemistry, maybe that messes some stuff up. Who knows? I think I saw him projected in the lineup or something, so keep an eye there, but I'm not looking to play anything personally.
No, I guess the only thing I'd note is last four games against New Jersey, Dylan Larkin has 9 points and 5 goals.
Pretty good.
So worth flagging. You look back even further, he's grabbing a point in most games, although um, it's kind of a looser version of the Devils the farther back you get. They've been a much different team this year, but he
He has
certainly
been solid. Um,
he
you know,
scored both times this year against them with four
there's a
points.
point in 67% of home games. So, Detroit's gonna retaliate in some way. That would be the guy to look at there.
Let's keep it moving. Tampa, Minnesota. I think should be a good game. Um, my initial thought was I wanted to maybe grab the over or some goal scorers, just two good offenses meeting, kind of like banking on the stars shining. They haven't played in a while against each other. Last two games last November of 2021, 6 goals and 9 goals. They split those. Tampa's on a back to back, but Vasilevsky is in net. He did not play last night. So I don't have anything in this game right now except Kaprizov point. Just when they give that to us at 0.5, it's a must at home, at least. He's got a point in 18 and 19 at home. So I paired that with New Jersey to score 3 goals in regulation at plus 107. Nothing flashy, but I think that's you're looking for a 2 or 3 legger. Throwing Kaprizov point tonight seems like a solid bet.
Yeah, I feel like you got to do something with him. That's just a crazy hit rate, and he's done it against Tampa. So you like seeing that history. And I was gonna say, if you don't want to do a parlay, he's been getting decent amount of assists for points, especially at home. He's got an assist in 14 and 19 games, some 2 assist games in there, and that's at plus 100. His shot volume is down lately, averaging less attempts, less on net. So, if he keeps going that way, then I guess a little bit more likely he gets an assist for his point, but then a shot. Liked him more for goals when his volume was obviously a lot higher for shots. But yeah, even money that looks good too. But the point in a parlay, 18 and 19 at home, that looks really nice. And I was looking probably with, like I said, Hamilton looks like a good option. Both those guys' points and assists look great.
Kaprizov's shots have been way down. I think it's worth
Yeah,
flagging him. You could move him down to 3. He's hitting an 81% at 3. I think those odds are really horrible on FanDuel. You bump it up to 4 and he's only hitting in 47% and has not been like that home automatic that we were used to last year. He's only hit twice in his last, looks like 7 home games. So I'm not too excited about him at 4 shots tonight.
yeah. I guess the only thing is, let's see. So his last 4 games, the volume starting from 4 games back, it's 6 attempts, 7 attempts, 5 attempts, 8 attempts. So before that, it was like 4-4. There was a 10 attempt game, which he still didn't even hit 4 shots, 4 attempts. So it's starting to come back up with the attempts. And if he continues that volume, I would imagine sometime soon he's going to get some positive regression. But it's Tampa. Maybe just like the point angle better here. Speaking of point, Braden point.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the guy's rolling. That's another solid look here. Point in 8 out of 10, goal in 7 of 10. So if you do like goals in this game, he's been just the steady force on the other side for a bit now.
Yeah, I kind of liked if I was going to do anything was maybe point shots. He's been pretty steady at. Um, I do think Tampa will get some power play chances, and points been very involved there. And I think looking back, he didn't play them last year, but he has been pretty steady against Minnesota over his career. I got it right here. Yeah, he's got 3 and 4 of his last 5 against them, going back to 2018.
Yeah,
Not
yeah,
my favorite for
didn't play
shots.
him. Yeah, I don't know. Somebody's asking about power play point, Zuccarello or Tampa's been they've tightened it up in terms of power plays allowed, correct? Like to when we used to look at them.
Yeah, I've got him last 10, allowing 2.9, which is definitely a bottom 10 number, and their penalty kill has been awesome, 93.1% over the last 10.
Yeah, it's not what we had liked, early on or even end of last season where it was just like they just couldn't stop committing penalties and anybody who was good on the power play was a great target against them. Definitely tightened it up lately. So it's not to say it can't be done, but just not a angle that I'm looking at right in this game.
Yeah, to me, the only maybe I would place something like this at a low risk bet, just some kind of same game parlay of goal scores, because I mean, just two good offenses again that I feel like are going to motivate each other to shoot more and score. I think Kucherov goal is probably my favorite on Tampa, just because he scored twice last time he played Minnesota, and I thought Erickson at goal looked pretty interesting. He scored in 3 of his last 4 against Tampa.
Yeah. Got a question. Somebody asking where do we get um like our data from? And I think as for me, it's like 3 main places. It might be the same for you, but like props.cash to find like trends and stuff that stand out. I like StatMuse to find you know versus opponent going for really far back just to see if there's a really insane trend that goes over time. I'll use props.cash to look at the short term matches against each other, which can be a little bit more relevant, especially same season. And then the third site I like is Money Puck or natural, yeah, Money Puck, Natural Stat Trick. I use both of those. They're real nice. Natural Stat Trick. I like looking at. You could split 5v5 power play. However many games you want to look back. So it's real nice to see how we're talking about, or Griffey brings up these last 10 power play allowed numbers, and then natural stat trick, you can look at the opponent and see who's taking the shots on the power play. You can filter over the last 10 and find some nice trends that way. So those are my main ones. I think I said 3, but I mentioned 4 there. I don't know what else Griffey uses, but I like those a lot.
Yeah, that's pretty much all of them. I think natural stat trick is one I like poking around. I can get in trouble sometimes, but if I want to like do a goal score parlay for fun, I usually like poking around on natural stat trick to see stats like expected goals for a player, or how many individual high danger chances he's generating over 5-10 games. If you like a spot for goals, you can easily filter. Let's see how Minnesota's last 5 games have been. Who's getting the most chances at net? Um, and if it doesn't correlate with goals, that usually excites me more. Like if a guy has 1 goal, but his expected goals is 3.1 over the last 10 games, it's like, okay, this guy, he's due for some positive regression. He's getting
He's
the
getting
quality.
good chances, yeah.
So great resource if you haven't used it yet. It might look a little intimidating at first, but it's pretty easy to navigate and filter. So
And
good.
then like when I bring it all together, it's good time to bring it up again. I really like to then go over to pick it and find the best line. It's really easy to just click into there. You go to the props market, you could search in what type of prop you're looking for. So you click on, say the Devils game, type in shots, and then Hughes will pop up, find the best line right there. So all these tools kind of come together and really help out. And then yeah, somebody saying that StatMuse doesn't show anything. Sometimes it's you got to really get the phrasing of the question right for it to understand you, which can be difficult sometimes. But yeah, if you're looking for anything in general, you could always just send me a message and I can help you out with that. Just anybody out there, StatMuse.
Yeah, I mean, StatMuse, what we're a little off topic now, but for StatMuse, I've got like 9 windows bookmarked, when I put out those sheets every day. And I just open them all at once, like NHL teams, shots allowed per game this season on the road, and it brings everything up. You can add last 10 games, you could do last 20 games, get rid of the location. And then day of, I usually just search things like Wild versus Lightning last 3 years, or Braden point game log versus Minnesota, easy stuff like that, and it brings it up. Great resource
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah, I also like that the new update on Prospect Cash is pretty sweet with the projections and the hit rate for everything color coded there on the side. So some really nice sites here for information. But yeah, let's jump back into the slate. Since it's only 3 games, we had a little bit of time there to go on a little tangent, but let's get back on track now.
Sure. I think I might have to do something with Eriksson to score a goal. He's got nice history against Tampa, and yeah, I mean, let's talk about expected goals and natural stat trick. Obviously, I hopped on and yeah, he leads Minnesota in expected goals over the last 5 games, which is a super small sample size, but for a guy I've already been interested in, I don't know. I might do something with him. Let's see who's leading the charge for Tampa, but I definitely think some big names are scoring tonight.
Mm-hmm. And speaking of big names who are scoring, let's go into Dallas and Anaheim because we're both playing a guy there to score.
Yes, we are. Pretty simple one. Kind of just woke up and looked at the games and said, I bet Jason Robertson can score against the Ducks. I mean, it's nice to see him pick it up after he's been really quiet after the explosion he had to start the year, but he scored in 2 straight games now. He had a hat trick against Anaheim a month ago off 7 shots. Good enough for me. I think they only scored twice last night, so I certainly don't expect them to just take it easy against the Ducks. They just lost on the road. I'm sure they'd like to generate some scoring. I expect them to.
Yeah, I like to look at, sometimes I just like to bring up the guy's full season and just kind of find the dips of where their production is, and you poke around and you could see like correlation when his attempts were down. He obviously way less goals. He opened up the season just kind of like automatic. He was hitting his shots, scoring all the time. Kind of disappeared a bit, and then if you look back, you look at his last 10 games, and then the volumes really picked back up again. For him, like to see that getting 8 attempts, 7, 11, 6, 13, 11. So some really big games, and we saw how when it dropped down to him getting 5 attempts, 3 attempts, 4 attempts, he obviously wasn't scoring. So he's got those 2 goals in a row. He's shown that he can go on a crazy hot streak, and the volume is picking back up. So it's all kind of coming back. And I think that he can make it 3 straight against a team that he had a hat trick against last time. It just seems like a good spot. I think it was plus 113 on Caesars.
Yeah, I put a full unit on that. This is another one like New Jersey. I think alternatively, if you don't like sweating out who does the scoring, I think you could combine New Jersey and Dallas to each just reach 3 goals in regulation, and that's a plus money play on DraftKings. They're 3 hours apart, so if you don't mind that part, I certainly expect both to score tonight.
Yeah, we got somebody in the chat talking about Ben or Pavelski power play point, and I think Jamie Benn is a good look. I brought him up before the game yesterday. He was on a streak with points, and of course he didn't get the point against the Kings, but we always we talk about people being able to bounce back, and a nice follow up to a down game is playing against the Ducks. So I could definitely see him being a good look today. His point is now all the way up at minus 154, which isn't that great, but yeah, power play point is plus 152, and he's got 4 in his last 10. And the Ducks are one of the best targets for power play stuff in general. Opportunities allowed, their penalty kill is not good. So their power play could definitely get going, and that's one of the reasons why we like Robertson goal. That could be very easily the spot he gets it on. Go on a power
Yeah,
play and he just gets it in.
I certainly expect Dallas to score on the power play. Almost more just a volume thing. Anaheim's given up 4 a game power play chances, and Dallas has been so good. I do have to flag the Ducks penalty kill has been getting a little bit better. I just want to see who they've been playing. And they've been playing some legit teams over the last 10. Their penalty kill's up to 80%, which is not bad. But I think just the amount they're handing out with how good Dallas is shown to be in the power play, it doesn't matter, but worth flagging. They're tightening up a little bit there.
Yeah, no, that's true. It's good. It's a good note. I'm just gonna keep answering stuff from the chat here. Somebody's talking about Wyatt Johnston, and yeah, I don't mind taking a flyer on him, plus 350 for a goal. The depth of Anaheim is not that great, so you could see a guy like him having a chance here to do something. He has a goal in 4 of his last 10. He scored against Anaheim last time they played, so plus 350. It's yeah, we like Robertson, obviously, just a big name. He should get his chances too. But plus 350, it's obviously a nice price there to score, get a goal.
Yeah, I don't hate that. I'm still obviously now lost in natural stat trick because of the question. Why don't I flag Mason Marshmont? I'm sure I butchered his last name. Classic example here. He's got no goals over his last couple games, but expected goals is 2.02. I don't know. Worth flagging. He's
Yeah.
plus 275 to score. Shots have been
Are you considering
solid.
any shots here?
Yeah, I am. So, shots wise, I did lock in. I did on Caesars a same game parlay on 2 different sides actually, but I really like Heiskanen. Going to him, I know you liked him yesterday. I just think he's rolling. He's over in
Yeah.
6 of his last 8 on the road. He's over in 4 of his last 5. Over the last 10 games, the Ducks are letting up about 2 more shots per game to defensemen than the next closest team. So I'm just going to load up Dallas's top shooting defenseman at the moment. He had 4 against them a month ago.
Yep.
I paired him with Trevor Zegras, who I was a bum to see is not at plus money tonight. I mean, I get it. His last 3 games, 2 of the games he's had 7 shots and 9 shots, which is absurd. But his hit rate on the year does not justify a minus 125 price tag. So my protest to that was to just load him up in a parlay. Irresponsible. But at home, he's just awesome. The volume at home jumps up 3-4 attempts per game. The 7 and 9 both happened at home. And, he went under against Dallas a month ago, but that was just a different Trevor Zegras. Like, he's picked up attempts big time. If you look at his season, and last year he went over all 3 games against Dallas, 5 shots, 3 shots, 5 shots. Dallas pretty loose to shots on the road. So I'm just following what Zegras has been doing, paired him with Heiskanen, plus 210 on Caesars. If you don't have access to one of those books where you can do that, I don't hate a half unit on Heiskanen at 4, and you could play Zegras straight if you want.
Yeah, I know maybe he's not on the top of the list because of he's has much better home numbers than he does road numbers this season. But Pavelski, he's got some nice games under his belt recently against the Ducks. 6 shots last time they met. Then last season, 3-2 and 6 shots. So 3 of his last 4 against them. What stuck out to me was he's hit in 5 of his last 7. And last game he got 5 attempts off and only got 1 on net. So his volume was still there. And I just think the Ducks just give up so many shots that a lot of these guys are juiced right now to hit their shots, and Pavelski's at -120. So it's a nice straight play there. And I just like following that volume a bit. I'm kind of on the fence now that alts are up. I'm going to dig in a little bit more. But I put him on my radar this morning just because of a 1-for-5 game from him. I feel like the next game against the Ducks is a good spot for him to, get them on net if he keeps that volume.
Well, let me float this one by you. The popular parlays are up on FanDuel. There's one that's +122. Joe Pavelski, Hintz, and Zegras all to get 2 shots. Hintz
Okay.
is pretty solid at 2. I mean, Zegras, if it seems if he hits 3, he hits 7, but
yeah, so Hintz 76% on the road, at 2 shots, 76% overall this season at 2 shots against Anaheim. He has his last 4, it's 2-2, 0, and 4. So he did have a 0 in there. That was last season. That's not a bad one. I like those kind of parlays there where you can get a couple guys at 2 shots. I expect there to be shots in this game. The Ducks don't ever stop them. And like you said, Dallas on the road, not a team that you need to completely avoid or anything. So that's pretty solid.
I think to wrap this up, I think Dallas shots goals look good, and I don't hate Anaheim shots, but I found a popular parlay I need to flag to you from the New Jersey game. Because I know you've been thinking how to do Dougie Hamilton. You can do Jesper Bratt and Dougie Hamilton each to record a point at +122 on FanDuel. That might be better on Bet365, which I know you have access to, but a lot of people don't. That's a pretty solid combo there at plus money.
Yeah, that's a nice one. If you don't have access to one of the books where you can kind of create your own, FanDuel's been putting out some good options lately. That's nice. I'm gonna have to dig into these because that 2-shot one seems good in that matchup to me. I think there's gonna be shots, so like that.
All right, let's move to best bets here and wrap it up. Best bets. Why don't you start? I think we'll save. Why don't we save our goal score bet for pick and play of the day? So besides that, what's standing out?
Yeah. The couple that stood out to me, I'll leave Hamilton to you. Mercer point at plus money as long as he's still skating alongside Jack Hughes on that second line. I really like that +114. And then Hughes half a unit on his 5 shots. I just think if he shoots, like I said, he's hitting 5 shots. It's either 5+ in most of the games on the road, or famine 2 or less. So I'm gonna put half a unit on Hughes to get 5 shots. Just the hit rates there for that one.
Yeah, I like it. For me, the bet I probably like the most is the first one I put in. Devils to score 3 times in regulation and Kaprizov point and +107. I think is a really safe baseline type play. And I like my Heiskin and Zegers combo. I think there's going to be a lot of shots in the late game. And I like the plus 210 price. I just did a half unit. All
Did
right,
you
pick
play
and play.
Hamilton assist? Did you
I
play
did do,
Hamilton assist?
yeah. I mean, I only have four
Okay.
plays. I basically just listed them all out.
All right, yeah, because I was gonna bring up Hamilton again, and I thought you were gonna talk about him, but he looks really good for an assist today. And point minus 150 is okay, but most of his points are assists, so I like that one today too. But yeah, let's get to our picket play today.
Yeah, I mean, we gave it a decent amount of attention. It's Jason Robertson today. Best odds found on Pickett, plus 113 on Caesar. Super solid for a guy who seems to be finding the back of the net again recently after a little cold spell and a great opponent. Gibson's a horrible goalie. I think they'll score in the power play. Uh, um, Last night was a big, the big boys kept scoring, it seemed, in every game. I like that to carry over tonight as well.
Yeah, you could have just stacked the top name from every team in a goal scorer parlay last night and probably hit something really nice. But yep, that's it. Jason Robertson today. Volume's coming back. Goal in 2 straight. He shows that he can go on a massive run. Ducks are a great spot to keep that momentum going.
Yeah, and then I'm gonna same game parlay Kucherov and Eriksson at goal. I'm just
Do
gonna
it.
let it rip.
That's your throw in at the end because we always
Yeah.
seem to just kind of like really briefly touch on something and that happens. So let's see how that goes tonight. But yeah, if you're joining with us on any of the bets or you wrote something down, good luck tonight. Thanks for joining in. Thanks to Pickett and Gold Boys for letting us do this.
Yeah. We will see everybody next Monday. Good luck tonight.